How's it going, everybody? Bryan Alvarez here on Wrestling Observer Live. We are here every day, Monday through Friday, noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, Sunday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, Saturday mornings with Jim Valley, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 Eastern, Sundays with Andrew Zarian. And it is a Friday, Fun Friday here on the show. We weren't here yesterday, but you know what? We can have fun today. We got a lot to talk about in terms of news as well. We got 2 days worth of news. So, The Rock. The Rock is on Smackdown tonight. Well, what's he going to do? Well, I think I've got the gist of it, but you know what? It's The Rock. So, if there's one guy where anything can happen depending on what he decides, well, it's The Rock. But he will be on Smackdown tonight, so we're going to tell you about that. As well as the story that came out regarding Shane McMahon and Tony Khan, the story that will never die. We'll tell you about that. Also, a lot of talk on the internet today about AEW and production meetings, based on something I talked about on the Bryan and Vinny show, only for subscribers of WrestlingObserver.com last night. So we'll talk about that. And then Goldberg, his retirement, he's got a timeline. We've got Dynamite and NXT ratings. Mistico is coming back. The Hardys are going to TNA, and we got TNA and NXT shows with, talent going back and forth. We got a lot, and we'll take your feedback because it is a fun Friday. If you want to text us, 425-780-7566. That is 425-780-7566. F4W Online at gmail.com. F4W Online Threads, Instagram, and Cameo. At Bryan Alvarez on X, as well as Blue Sky. And you can get a cameo. Yeah, I do cameos, and they're a lot of fun. Potentially more fun than Fun Friday. But I guess we'll find out today. Mike Sempervive is going to join us after the break as well, so stick around. Back in a moment, Wrestling Observer Live.
We've almost reached the pinnacle of the tour, but this is one of the most important things. This is the computer. This is the workstation where I do the majority of the actual physical part of putting Figure 4 together. I do the writing here, the editing here, of course the phone calls, even the microphone here when we used to do Wrestling Observer Live, which has since died. And in fact, I better put the screensaver on here so this doesn't get burned in the screen. But putting the newsletter together, people understand, it's a lot of hard work and dedication, like 2 to 3 hours per week sometimes I have to spend on it. And, hold on a second. Figure 4, who's this? Carl Thorillo? Yeah. Yeah, hey, listen, can I call you back? I'm doing something here right now. My fridge? Yes, running. Hello? Anyway, this is, like I said, computer. Got the TV here. This is pretty much the place. This is going to be a quick tour of the trophy room. This is actually my trophy case. It's made of mahogany, very expensive. But what is worth far more than the case itself is what is inside. And that is the medals from the various sports and the accomplishments that I've achieved during my lifetime. This first drawer here is my gymnastics medals. Here, I got state and such. These are my Taekwondo medals. These down here, amateur wrestling medals. And down here are the 26 medals that I won in the 5-kilometer walk down to the Bothell Landing over the course of the past 5 years. And, I realize that I'm a 4-sport superstar right here, and some people, it might bother them that they haven't had such achievements in their life, but I think that the whole point is that you can achieve anything. If you can make a great pie, you can win the pie eating contest at the Puyallup Fair, and I don't know, hell, if you can eat a good pie, you might win the pie eating contest as well. So there's achievement in this life for everybody.
Fun Friday! Here on the show, everybody.
Not for everybody, apparently.
No, it is. It is. Don't even get started.
No Twitch violence?
Nope. We're going to get going here. The Rock is on Smackdown here tonight. The Rock. Last night it was announced that The Rock will be appearing on tonight's WWE Smackdown from New Orleans. The role he will be playing has not been revealed yet, but he posted on Instagram he has a big, beautiful gift for the city of New Orleans. The final boss is coming to handle business, deliver a big, beautiful gift to the city of New Orleans, and F up a certain someone's life with the final boss gospel. So here's what's happening, everybody. Now somebody's going to go, I can't believe this place. Why wouldn't they? Well, this was The Rock deciding he's going to be on the show.
I'm on the board of directors.
He decided he was going to be on the show. My guess is yesterday morning. They rewrote the show to accommodate The Rock. And
I got some time. I got some hours free on Friday night, boys. I'm coming in.
Now, for all of you that are thinking like Jay losing his Mania main event, well, first off, The Rock is not coming back to wrestle Gunther. So no, Jay does not have to worry. However,
how dare you?
However, the likelihood is that The Rock is there to announce, because the show tonight is in New Orleans. WrestleMania next year is in New Orleans. The Rock apparently must have put two and two together. And so he will show up tonight to give this big, beautiful gift to New Orleans. You guys get WrestleMania next year. And then I'm sure some nerd's going to come out, and then they'll do like a 30-minute back and forth, and then Rock will give him the rock bottom in the elbow, and that'll be it. So I would not expect, like, the script. I mean, they had to redo a bunch of stuff, but I'm not thinking that this is going to be like everything, is going to WrestleMania, Cody's out, blah, blah, blah.
Well, is that what The Rock means about ruining people's plans then? Did he mean the creative department and not Cody Rhodes or something else? Because that is what people are going to be thinking, him leading into this thing, is what is The Rock going to do after he gifts New Orleans with free beignets? He
just signed on for a new movie. I mean, I don't think he's wrestling at WrestleMania. Do I think he's going to be there? Oh, of course.
When does the Smashing Machine drop? Because let me tell you something, that's when he's going to be around again. When it's time to promote that bad boy, I bet you he's back around again. That's a crossover audience that you'd want.
So we got The Rock tonight. We got DIY against Pretty Deadly for the tag team titles. Cody, Damian, and Braun Strowman versus Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, and Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. That's the lineup for the show tonight. As I just get bombarded with messages as I try to just read a lineup for a show. Apparently there's a lot going on. But hey, it's Fun Friday, so we got plenty of time.
Do we have time to walk with Elijah?
Dude, I got way bigger stories than the Drifter.
For all the things you've said about him, I've heard?
I never said anything about him, except he's a drifter.
It's not what I've heard.
Well, I know, because somebody can't tell the difference between myself and Dave Meltzer, even though there's plenty of differences because we're two different people. So the Shane McMahon is from the front page of WrestlingObserver.com.
Now, this is a fun story. Fun Friday.
The Shane McMahon, Tony Khan, AEW story came back to life Thursday, following some comments made from a former WWE broadcaster on a podcast.
The Airport Summit.
Jonathan Coachman claimed on his The Coach and Bro podcast.
Coach and Bro?
He was the bro. That during the much-discussed meeting McMahon and Khan had last summer, McMahon asked
he can barely read
for
this.
both equity in AEW and to, quote, run the entire show. He then said Khan never followed up or communicated with McMahon after the meeting, using the term ghosted. You don't say. You don't say.
You didn't even get to the best part of this whole thing.
Hold on.
Okay.
Can I paste this or what?
Sure. Yes.
Fightful Select reported that according to sources close to McMahon, Khan indeed failed to follow up. And while the equity claim could not be verified, The claim of wanting to run AEW appeared to be accurate. However, he didn't have the knowledge of AEW or their business to realistically. You don't say.
That's
he was
one.
He was unqualified.
Don't undersell that.
Yeah, the source.
I don't watch your show, but I'd like to run it for you.
Indicated McMahon didn't take the lack of follow-up personally, and felt that Khan thought he was joking when he brought up running AEW. Well, I thought he was joking when I read that story. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Okay, you met with Tony Khan. Okay? You met with Tony Khan. And your suggestion was, I want equity in the company and I want to run the show. And then you were ghosted. What did you think was going to happen? That was what you brought up in the first. Oh my God!
Is that what Paul Heyman asked Dixie for back in the day?
This is one of those stories. I do After Dark.
Yes.
Okay. And every now and then, I was driving down the road, I saw some Bigfoot running across the road or whatever. There's stories like that. But then, some guy decides he's going to tell a story. Well, I saw a UFO, and the UFO landed in a field, and like a bunch of Bigfoot got out of the UFO.
Little Bigfoot.
And then, some clowns came out of the woods, and they all started dancing around a bond. Like, every now and then there's a story like that. It's like, this story is so ridiculous that, I don't know if the guy was on drugs or what, but like, there's no way this guy doesn't believe that happened. Because you can't make up a story like that. When I first heard this, it was so ridiculous. I thought, that's impossible. But then, like, the more you think about it, it's like, it almost has to be true. You met with Tony. Oh, my God. Anyway, didn't happen. At this point, the front page says, McMahon and AEW appears to be a dead deal if it was ever live to begin with. Well, yeah, I think
as long
told you that for
as
a while.
that picture exists, it will live on a podcast or somewhere. Because, here's the thing. They talked for how long? How much time did they spend talking? There's got to be more details that can come out about them speaking about this. And maybe this opens up somebody's side saying, oh, yeah, but there was also this, this, and this. That's what I'm hoping for, because it is such a ridiculous story. It is a great distraction on days like Fun Friday.
Then we had the big thing about production meetings. Do I have time to talk about this now, or are we too close to the break? Probably. Well, I'll wait on that one then, and we'll quickly run down the ratings. Dynamite, 563,000 and a .17 and 18 to 49. It was the third lowest rating the show has done since November 27th, which was Thanksgiving Eve. And it's funny because every week there's like a mention that people watch it on Max and everyone loses their mind. And then, when one of the arguments that people
Nobody does that.
Yes, they do. Hey, you just did the other day. No. One of the arguments is that, the ratings are exactly the same as they were before Max. No, they're not. Especially the 18 to 49. The 18 to 49, as soon as they got on Max, their 18 to 49 dropped like 0.4, and it stayed there. So, that tells you right there that a strong percentage of the number of people 18 to 49 have chosen to watch it on Max, which, deep down, we all know, even though we want to argue it. NXT 689 and a .17. So Dynamite...
Only when people are being disingenuous.
Dynamite and NXT both did the same 18 to 49, and NXT beat them in viewership. And you'll never guess what the best thing, the highest rated segment on NXT was.
What's that?
It was the women. Those women in the main event. Highest rated thing on the show. Anyway, we'll talk about production meetings after the break. Observer Live.
Green Hill. Hello. He's escaped. Do you know which way he was headed? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Shoulders. He's been here.
It's Vinny's straitjacket.
We're getting close.
Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. Fun Friday! And I got two quick plugs before we move on with Fun Friday. The first is this Sunday, Vinny and I are going to go eat at Granny's old person's home. And it's always an adventure. And so I will be doing a travelogue, a video and photo travelogue for my subscribers on X.
Is it potluck?
You can head up there and subscribe on my X. And I also, that's where most of the scoops come from first. People are always like, why did I get them on? Well, when I send them to the site, it takes a while to get on the front page. So if you want it first, it's going to be on my X. So chill out already. They're going to be on the front page. And a lot of other fun stuff as well. A live Q&A. You can ask me anything and I'll answer it. So that's my X. You can be a subscriber on X. The other thing I want to mention is for all of you listening for free on Wrestling Observer, actually this would be on YouTube, on Twitch, on Sports Byline. If you've been thinking about signing up, we actually have deals available right now. If you would like to sign up either monthly or annually, we have sales going on for both right now. You have to be a new subscriber, but you can head to f4wonline.com/new. And you can check out isn't that easy? f4wonline.com/new. And you can check out the offers for getting either a monthly subscription or an annual subscription. Big discounts on both. That's f4wonline.com/new. And if really you just want the podcast, I mean, just make it easy. You can go to f4wonline.com/YouTube, f4wonline.com/Spotify, or f4wonline.com/Apple. And all of those are $9.99 a month, either YouTube for the HD video or Spotify or Apple if you're like young or something. So anyway, check them out. Now, Yesterday we were talking about production meetings on the subscriber-only Bryan and Vinny show. Speaking of subscriptions. And I was talking about, it actually started when we were talking about the, my God, that Thunder Rosa segment. And, like, people are making fun of that all over the internet. And it was a disaster. There's no other way to put it. I mean, it was a disaster. And, like, the question was, what was supposed to happen? Like, how did this go so wrong? And, you know, I got to thinking that one of the big complaints I hear from a lot of people in AEW is Tony doesn't do production meetings. And I hear it all the time. This is why we need production meetings, et cetera, et cetera. And so I brought it up on the show. And, you know, then I heard through the grapevine that, you know, Tony says he does production meetings. Okay? So, I hear all the time he doesn't. He apparently says that he does. Well, how can this be? Unless, you know, I didn't make it up. I heard from wrestlers that he didn't. I heard through the grapevine that he says that he does. So how is this possible? Well, what it is like a lot of things in life. How do you describe a production meeting? I guess we should start like that. How would you describe a production meeting, Mike?
Would it be sitting down with the producers of the matches going on that night and trying to figure out what is going where and making sure that people don't duplicate things and such? That would be probably a full-scale production meeting, I guess.
That is the traditional definition of a production meeting, okay? Now, he doesn't do that, okay? What he does is he will meet with the producers over the course of the afternoon. Hey, bring in, you know, Daniels, you know, you got this, whatever. And then he'll meet with this person. And then, you know, he'll talk to Mansuri or whatever. And then, you know, whatever. To him, that's a production meeting, okay? To the people complaining, that's not a production meeting. What they're talking about is everybody involved should sit in a room together at the same time, get the format, and this is what's going to happen at the beginning. This is what's going to happen next. This is what's going to happen next, and like go over the show. That is what is not happening. So, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to do that, or I don't know if he doesn't have time or what the feeling is, but to him, it's fine to just call in this producer. Here's your segment, blah blah blah. Call in the next person. These are your segments, blah blah blah. Hey, Mansuri, we're doing this. So, yes, it's whatever you want to say a production meeting is. There are meetings before the show over what's going to happen, but there are not traditional get everybody together in a room at 3 o'clock. They don't do that, okay? I think they should, and people want that, but he doesn't want to, and you know what? I'm not Shane McMahon, brother. I'm not trying to take over the company. I'm just giving my thoughts. I don't need equity. I certainly don't want to run the show. It's just an idea, you know? People want one. So that's the story of the production meetings. So,
sitting here on the outside, I would say that would probably be a good idea as well. Although, that stuff aside, that's still, even if you had a production meeting, doesn't explain exactly what happened when it came to one producer and 3 women who were involved as one other woman laid on the mat with what happened between Megan Bayne, Penelope, and Thunder Rosa there. I mean, that was pathetic. And for whatever reason, that's what I want to find out is what exactly got crossed up there. What was supposed to happen? How were people supposed to act? Because Thunder Rosa came out of that looking like something I can't say on, you know, FCC radio right now.
Well, I can say it. She looked like a geek.
That's a nice way to say
it. They geeked her out, and it wasn't on purpose. But I still have not really gotten like a good answer about what the heck happened there. That was very, very odd. All right, Goldberg. Remember that guy?
Who?
Goldberg.
Oh, the show on ABC. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, the wrestler. He said on his weekly CarCast podcast, I have a match sometime this summer. Sounds like he needs a production
put this Hemi
meeting.
engine in.
I don't know exactly when it is, but I know it's coming up, and I know at 58 years old, I got to be in my underwear in front of everybody, and I hold a very high standard for myself. In his underwear, apparently. I need to get to work yesterday, but the long-term benefit and the benefit for me in the ring will be much more if I just calm down, he said. Well, that's true. That's true.
Don't headbutt lockers anymore.
Yeah, you really shouldn't do that. Really shouldn't do that. So my presumption is that his retirement match is going to be at SummerSlam.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen him win the title there, too?
No.
No?
No. Who, from Jey Uso? I don't even think it's going to be for a title. I think Jay's winning the title at WrestleMania, and it'll be him versus Gunther.
Well,
no title on the line
there
at SummerSlam. He beats Gunther. It's not going to hurt Gunther. Everything's fine.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, at some point, Cena's picking up a title win this year off of somebody. It's hard for me to believe that he's going to go through the entire year without adding one more to the collection. No way.
Dude, you know what you could do?
Yeah.
Is
do a lot of things.
I mean, I think Cody needs to win. I think he is going to win at WrestleMania. And Cody could lose to
drop it in July.
He could lose to somebody. I'm trying to think who Cody could lose to that wouldn't be like a disaster, but could be somebody that Cena could then win the title from.
Almost anybody in the right spot.
Then,
look, if you put Drew McIntyre over there, look, because they're going to shake up the rosters anyway. If you put Drew on there, Drew stays as hot as he's been, as good as he's been on the mic and all that stuff. He does this against Cody and then celebrates it, and then now somebody from the past, now this old guy is going to come and ruin it for him. I mean, to me, you could do that if you wanted to. Look, they have a lot of people where if they were hot, you could do Punk and Cena. There's a lot of things I think you could do because you had a lot of hot people right now.
Alrighty. Should we take calls in the next segment?
Yeah.
We've got a lot of other
Friday.
news. Just Mistico returning to AEW, which always does well for AEW, by the way. Every time he is in a town, they actually sell more tickets. So,
hey, you want to put a bet on something?
Let me just tell you something.
Good.
I am I'm a Mexican.
Half.
Yeah. I'm half
and
Mexican.
And a full fair man, right?
Okay. My father's 100% Mexican.
Yes.
I live in Bothell. There's Mexicans all over the place. Actually, it's a very diverse town. There's, just everywhere. But anyway, my dad has a lot of Mexican friends. And, man, they all know all about lucha. And it's not like, my dad doesn't know anything about wrestling. It's not like he hangs around with wrestling fans. He hangs around with Mexicans that live in Bothell, and they all know about lucha, and they all know the big names in lucha. And I don't know what that means, but what it means to me is there's a reason you can put Mistico on these shows and they just start selling tickets. It's not, obviously a lot of these are border towns where they've done well, but he's a big name among Hispanics. It's what I see around here.
He's been
And where
icon.
in God's name around here would we see Mistico? He's not in Bothell. It's not like he's on the city council. You gotta know about it and follow it.
He's been a wrestling icon for like 30 years. I don't know if people realize how big he was around, 2005 or so. And when CMLL seemed to have like 75 different TV shows on, he was in music videos. He was gigantic before he ended up in WWE and some of the shine came off, but he's still a major star. Now, what I took out of that story is you need to invite these guys over to the studio to talk lucha, have an interpreter there. You're Mexican, you say, you can be the interpreter for these gentlemen, and then ask them about boxing too, because if they're old Mexican guys, they're some of the few people that still care about boxing.
We're going to take calls after the break, everybody, so get ready. You can text me as well, 425-780-7566. Those of you guys that don't want to be on the air, text me. Back in a moment, Observer Live.
Means a lot, Oos. I think the company going forward with me, they trust me now. And I'm not gonna let them down. There was some heavy hitters in there. I was a heavy hitter too. And like John says, my time's now, man. My time is now. And I was screaming that I was screaming that out there the whole night, man. It's my turn. It's my turn. And y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. I'm just gonna go up from here, man. This Yeet train is just now getting started. I'm telling you. Y'all let me rock, man. Let me keep cooking. Yeet. Emotional. I'm in there face to face. The crowd going crazy. It is kind of crazy because I can't hear nobody but me and him in there. And before we start get the rocking, man, I'm happy for you. Like I enjoy the little real things that happen in there that slide through. I take it to heart, man. And I never would have thought it'd be me and John Cena who's the final two. His ass almost got me twice in there, but I'm glad though. I'm very glad it was John Cena. It feels great. I'm the definition of real hard work. I ain't never complained. Just went to work every day. I said it out there like I'm like a tag team guy. Ain't nobody see me coming. No one saw this coming. I just stick to the code, man. Love what I do. Respect the locker room. And it'll all come back to you 10 times forward. And that's what happened tonight, And I felt love. I felt energy, man. I really feel love when the WWE Universe looks at me. They see, man, I'm gonna root for this dude. Even if you've never watched our product before, I just want to bring out like positivity, energy, man, especially for the kids. And it's all working, man. So I'ma still come out the mud, even though I got it now. So I still same mentality. I'm about to take it. I'm about to take it over. I'm about to take over. And you know what? I was screaming like, when I win the Royal Rumble 2025 Royal Rumble, I was screaming Gunther. But once you really like when it's in concrete right now, and it's after the Rumble, and I really want it, man, I'm looking at both of them like, all right, well, I mean, we're gonna eat here. I mean, I don't know, man, but I would like one more crack at Gunther, and I really feel like I can beat Gunther.
Good Lord, everyone's calling at the same time. It's like I asked or something. All right, well, let's get started here. The phone lines are fully open. Everyone seems to know the number, so I don't even know why I bothered giving it since... Let's see if we get through everybody. 618-762-3275. 618-762-DARK. Yes, 618-762-3275. Let's go to the phones. You are on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Don the Don Rossberger calling from very near Radford on the other side of the state from Portsmouth.
Wow.
But, I was just calling. I didn't get through last week when you were talking about, how people sound on the phone and stuff like that. And I want everybody to know I always sound like this.
I don't doubt
Even
that for 1 second.
On recordings, on the radio. I do a weekly radio program.
I'm stunned.
I do karaoke videos on the YouTubes. And, I just felt like talking.
What about Cameo? Do you have cameos?
I don't have a cameo, but I should get one of those.
Yeah, you should.
I'm a very pretty bird, and people would love to see me.
Don, when did you start smoking unfiltered Camels?
Oh, would you stop?
Oh, I don't smoke the unfiltered ones. Before I started smoking, I used to carry a pack of Lucky Strikes, and because I'd be at college parties and people be like, "Hey, can I bum a cigarette off you?" And then I would just be like, I'd pull this pack out and be like, "You feel lucky?" And half the time, people would look at me and be like, "Yeah, no, I'll just go bum one off of someone else."
You know what I think about? Thank you very much for the call there, Don the Don. You know what I think about when I think of Don the Don?
What's that?
F4WOnline.com/Vegas. If anybody should be attending the convention this year, and the after parties, and the Texas Day of Brazil lunch, and the live Q&A and meet and greet with myself and Dave. It is Don the Don.
Don should be hosting the meet and greet and the Q&A session. That would be fantastic.
F4WOnline.com/Vegas. Get your tickets now. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Don needs to call in again at some point. I need to ask him, since he's over in that area, if he's ever ventured down and went out to Jimmy Boogie Woogie Man Valiant's place. That place is absolutely unbelievable with old wrestling stuff, and just the fact that even though he's a little bit older now, the Boogie Woogie Man can still turn it on.
All right, we're going to go to the phones. By the way, if you want to use the international web browser line, it is callinstudio.com/show/WOL. That is callinstudio.com/show/WOL. I'm going to get a new URL for that one because that sucks.
Please, yes.
But that one works. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. Hello, Mike. My name is Karim. I'm from Tijuana, Mexico, calling
Excellent.
you with a great booking idea, in my humble opinion, for the rest of the year for AEW. Now we know that Kenny is facing Takeshita at the next pay-per-view.
Yep.
And it is my hopes that Kenny wins the international title. And as we also have seen, it seems like the plan is for him to face Okada at All In. So my plan is for them to have their match. Kenny wins the title, and he unifies both titles, creating the Intercontinental title for AEW. And then, in parallel, I think that Ospreay should be the one to beat Moxley for the world title at All In. And I think that the end game should be Ospreay's first defense to be against Okada. And I think that Ospreay should win the rematch. And I think that the end game should be Ospreay Omega 3 for the world title. If anyone can help me to make this kind of viral going around on X, I think it would be great for get the idea at least on Tony's head, and maybe he thinks I'm going to book it just for the sequels. So
Right.
That's all. Thank you guys for listening to my call, and I hope you have both a great day.
Thank you very much for the call. I should have asked him about Mistico while I was at it. Hey, here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. I think that they are going to do that title unification match at All In.
Thank God.
Okay? I do think that is going to happen. But the one I am trying to will into existence, so to speak, is Hangman Page. This is my simple booking. Hangman versus MJF, okay? And honestly, I don't even care in that first match if MJF beats Hangman, because you then build up to a big stipulation match at Double or Nothing, a rematch between the two, with the title shot on the line. Hangman beats him. Hangman is the number one contender for Jon Moxley at All In, and Hangman wins the title. I'm telling you all, Hangman is the guy. He is the guy that should be the savior of this company. He has everything, all the way down to one of the rare guys in this business nowadays that actually has a great theme song that fits his character that the people love. He's got it all, brother. And the story, like Will Ospreay, he should be champion, obviously, at some point. But he's not an original. And the way they're doing this story, like, I know that was the idea, I think. I don't know this 100%, but my presumption is, that was the idea. Darby, an AEW original, is going to take out Jon Moxley. I think, maybe even in Seattle to get revenge for Moxley retiring Bryan Danielson, but sometimes things got to change. Darby's been gone. He's been climbing a mountain. I don't even know if he started climbing yet. He's getting ready to climb a mountain. I mean, Hanger, he's your guy.
Who cares if he's climbing a mountain or not? He ain't there. And even if he was there, Hangman Page, as I've said this for the time since AEW started, he is the heart and soul of that promotion. He's the avatar of AEW with all these people that MJF and this person and that person know. Hangman Page is the guy. And him as a full... Look, I think we maxed him out as far as being psychopath heel. We've seen as much of that as we need to see. We saw all the sensitive Hangman from before. We need something in the middle right now, and they need something in the middle. And of all of the people that they have, he's one of the people that most of those fans can rally behind as being the one to take the title off of Moxley in this storyline. You know, Samoa Joe, Lashley, there's other people that could do it and the fans would like it. But the fact of the matter is they're going to play this storyline out. And there's still some time. Obviously, Moxley's got to go through Copeland first. But as far as being the guy that can actually unite everybody, especially if the Young Bucks come back, when Jack Perry comes back, all that sort of stuff, it's Hangman Page.
Where the hell is Jack Perry, by the way? There's another guy. Just like Orange Cassidy. Just dropped off the face of the earth. We don't know where, when,
well, then
why,
Orange
how.
just dropped back in again.
All right, let's go to the phones. You are on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from?
Michael from Rochester. Thank you, Brian and Mike, for taking my call. Last time I called, I trended on social media based on my thoughts on Dynamite Dave.
Yes,
so
you did.
hopefully this call will be just as good as the last one. Last month, a certain person called and said we were going to speak a match into existence between Oba Femi and Moose. Oh, that was me. And by the way, I watch NXT on Tuesday night, and lo and behold, who interrupts Oba Femi at the beginning of the show but Moose? So since I'm playing matchmaker, we're going to make another match for that same weekend show, and that's Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus the Hardys.
Well, you know, that one,
I
think I want to thank you very much for the call. I mean, listen, the Hardys are coming in, and they're facing the No Quarter Catch crew. They ain't losing to the No Quarter Catch crew. And Axiom and Nathan Frazier, they just retained the tag team titles. They need challengers. I think that one is destined to happen soon, and would probably be freaking great, to be honest with you.
When do you think Michael started smoking unfiltered Camels?
Hey, that guy, he's right. He predicted that match. He predicted
right.
Moose and Oba Femi, and man, we're going to get it.
Now, here's what I'm going to need, though, because the Hardys are going to get a victory over the No Quarter Catch crew. I do not need to see them defeat Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Can't happen, won't happen, shouldn't happen. Don't make it happen.
All right, let's go to the phones. You are on the air. Who is this, and where are you calling from here on this fun Friday?
Yes, this is Stephen from Yuma, and I'm one. I mean, obviously, going back to the.
I owe you a trophy, don't I?
You do.
I'm working on it.
What's going on?
I'm working on it.
That's fine. No worries.
I got a lot going on.
All right.
Just pretend you've got it in a briefcase.
My thing is about. What's that?
I said just pretend you've got it in a briefcase somewhere.
I'll do that for sure. No, my whole people, we talk about Max. Obviously, people are watching AEW on Max. But my thing is, if the numbers are as good as, as Max says and as Tony is saying, why don't they just release the numbers of who we're watching? I mean, Netflix does it for Raw. I mean, they may inflate the numbers for Raw, but AEW, Max could do the same thing for AEW.
Yeah, but Max,
what's the issue?
They don't release the numbers for any show. I mean, it's not like they're not releasing the numbers for AEW, but they release the numbers for this or that. They don't release the numbers for anything. They just don't do it. So, I mean, yeah, it would be one thing if, some rando show does, hey, this did 300,000, and then, AEW, their radio silent. They don't mention it for anybody. So, I mean, that's just what they do.
Yeah, and you can make all the questions as to why Paramount. It's not like any of these places really do it. ESPN does not do it on a regular basis unless it's something like the college football playoff or something like that. Same thing with Peacock. Yeah, they hyped up the Olympics and some of the big college football games that they did, but it's not like they're telling you about every single thing that they have on the network. It doesn't behoove them to do it. My thing is, I just think, to me, it's annoying to even bring up. No, again, it's annoying to even bring up. Well, people are watching. Of course they are. The same way people are watching throughout all of these forums, but it just muddies the waters more and just begins to have something else that people can throw back and forth at each other that can't be proven.
Did you guys all argue and complain when people brought up that people used to have pay-per-view parties and 7 people would be sitting there watching a WrestleMania or whatever? Did that make people mad? Did they argue there were no pay-per-view parties?
No, nobody's upset, and there's you changing
No, they
the
are
thing again.
upset.
Yes, because you feel attacked by this. And
no,
instead of
I'm
having
not
a normal
attacked at all.
Yes.
I'm not attacked. You want me to go
Because,
through it right now? All right. How many people are angry about mentioning Max? I'll just throw it out here, and it'll be one. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I know you're on the chat, dude. Don't pretend like you don't see this. Come on.
To me, it's not all right.
I'm going to 440 right now. You're on the air. What's up? You heard me, a 440 area code. I think this is the first time he's ever been on, so let's try this again. You're on the air. Who is this?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, this is Connor from Cleveland.
Yes, Connor.
So I had a prediction and a question if there's time. Prediction is, I think that Jeff Jarrett, his retirement match, I think Big AJ is going to have, I think it's going to be a title match for the Costco World Championship and 42-pack of water.
That's going to be his retirement? That's going to be his final title? Okay.
It's a Memphis way to go out. I love it.
And then my question is, what happened to Camille? I really liked her. I saw her when she was when they were here in Cleveland. That was a really fun match. And I heard that she might have signed like a short-term deal, but I don't know.
Very short-term, apparently.
Well, I want to thank you very much for the call. Listen, let me just put it this way. I'm not there, okay? But I'll just say it didn't work out.
That's a nice diplomatic way to say it.
It didn't work out.
No.
And I knew it wasn't working out because here's the thing, okay? She got put with Mercedes, all right? They began teasing dissension. Do you guys watch AEW? Okay? Normally, if they started teasing dissension in January, they would break up in like August, okay? Because that's how they do things in AEW. Man, when they started teasing dissension and like a week later she was gone, it was like, that's it. You're not going to see Camille again. It didn't work out. And whatever the reasons were, who knows? She could be back Wednesday, but I mean, I saw it coming, and that's exactly what happened. Back in a moment, Observer Live. We did, in fact, by popular demand, watch Ready to Rumble.
The champion is some fat loser.
Yeah, he's a completely talentless, no athletic ability, can't wrestle, broke bum that walked out on his wife and kid.
But he was over.
He's the world champion.
He
and
was.
in the movie, the
well, yeah, but
storyline
that's
is...
a microcosm of wrestling, sadly.
Yes.
He feels so bad about drinking this entire slushie that cost $1.26, and he sticks his finger in his asshole and walks up to the clerk.
Lance is dying. How could the movie be so bad?
I'm not going to fault the man for that, of all the things in the movie.
I thought for sure you were going to say you'd done this before.
There's a reason I'm not going to fault the man for that.
I just think with all the porta potties and farting in this, that I think Vince McMahon was a secret producer on this film. Had to have been.
So then we get the Shermanator. He's played a WCW arcade game. He uses some internet sleuthing to find the personal information of Jimmy King.
He's searching the internet. Gonna find out anything on here. This movie was so antiquated. Every Nitro Girl is in a Nitro Girl outfit, except for this girl. They had her dance in something totally different.
Brian, like the captain.
So we're so stupid. I got it.
Captain
Yes,
Stabbin?
if you're watching this film, you're that stupid. I'm sorry.
But I was also insulted by the fact they hired Michael Buffer to announce the Royal Bash, the fake-ass Royal Bash.
$24 million budget.
Wow.
And probably $500,000 of that went to Michael Buffer. It made 12. You know, we should mention this cage match is the triple-decker Cage of Doom. Everybody buried it. It was horrible. Everybody hated it. And so they decided to make a movie. And what is the final battle? It's another goddamn triple-decker cage match. This would be like in 2010 if like TNA made a movie and the final match was a reverse battle royal.
They throw powder in someone's face, DDP's, I think, or somebody's, and the dude just looks and goes, "It doesn't work." It's like, of course, because wrestling's fake and stupid.
Should we just end it there? What a soundbite. There has never been a movie I have watched in my entire life which has made me hate myself more.
Wow.
I'm ashamed that I'm even in the place at 41 years old where I would end up reviewing this movie for money. I would have thought I would have made it out of here by now. You know what I mean? I'm done.
Well, everyone, hopefully we can do this again someday. Instead of suffering through the YouTube chat, click like and subscribe. Back in the show, Bryan Alvarez here, Wrestling Observer Live. I got another hot button topic for the end of the show today on Fun Friday.
Do it.
So it's Chris Jericho versus Bandito on Collision. I will not give spoilers here on the show, but I have now heard multiple reports that this match is awesome. And I had one person who watches a lot of stuff say that they think that this is the best Chris Jericho match since Will Ospreay at Wembley like 2 years ago or however long ago it was.
When did he send you that text?
Who?
Jericho.
It wasn't Jericho. He didn't say a thing about it. Goodness gracious. I love how everyone thinks they know like all my best friends. And you know what's funny?
You don't have any.
You know what's funny about that when you really think about it?
What's that?
I actually do shows with many of my best friends, and they all just get skewered. So every time someone goes, oh, Bryan said something really nice about Chris Jericho, they must be best friends. It's like, do you know anything about my best friends? One of my best friends is Lance, and my God, we freaking skewer each other. Think I'm sitting here putting over Lance? God. Probably put over more of my enemies than my friends. Anyway.
You would.
I did hear that match was absolutely fantastic. So that's tomorrow on Collision. And yes, I did appear on his podcast. I did a couple of times, and he's been on our show.
Yeah, you set me up to go on that.
Doesn't mean I
go on that dopey boat ride.
I mean, I'm out here cooking him steak. Hey, next time you're in Seattle, come over. I'll cook you a nice big steak. Come on.
He likes to drink his dinner anyway.
We're out of here. You're disgusting. You're all disgusting. I hope you had fun ruining a fun Friday, everybody. But you know what? I just barrel on through. So check it out, WrestlingObserver.com, F4WOnline.com/new. Go sign up today. We'll talk to you next time, Wrestling Observer Live.